Over the past few months, there have been quite a few times where I thought that I was going to quit using Italki to learn Spanish. But after a decent amount of self-reflection, I figured out that I was overreacting and I did not have the right mentality. Bienvenidos a todos a mi canal Spanish Blueprints. My name is Joshua, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 8 tips to have the best Italki experience, because I don't want you to leave this platform because you don't feel prepared and you feel very nervous and frustrated. So one of the first things that you need to do to have the best experience on Italki is set your goals. Once you set your language goals, then that is really going to help you be very clear on what you're going to be doing with Italki. For example, when I was using Italki for French at the beginning of this year, I was coming in completely fresh. I didn't know anything about French. So I wanted to have a tutor be able to guide me in how to learn the French language, give me some study materials because I had no idea what was available because I've only been learning Spanish, so I know a lot more about Spanish resources versus French resources. Also because these goals are basically going to be the base of your motivation. So the reason why I was using Italki for French is because I was motivated by those goals. I was looking for a tutor. I wanted to have a good foundation in French, and that's why I chose Italki. So as you can see, just with these few goals here, that they're really going to help guide you and push you through the whole process of your Italki lessons with your professional teacher or your tutor. So this leads me to the next tip of having good communication with your teacher. Once you have your goals in mind, it becomes a lot easier to be able to have a good experience with your teacher because they know exactly what you need, what you desire, so they can be able to have a more personalized lesson for you in comparison to if you did not have any goals whatsoever and you just came into the lesson and you're just like, yep, I'm here. So just give me anything that you want, right? So that would be, more challenging just looking from the perspective of that teacher. And just from my experience using Italki, the teachers that I have used, they have had a lot of interest in learning about why I am learning Spanish, why I'm learning French, and what exactly that I want to achieve. So I've found that I've been able to connect with them within this type of topic because they have goals too, for example, if they are learning a different language as well. So you can have even a dialogue about that. Prepare yourself for your lessons. Now, this can consist of various things. Like homework assignments, for example. When I was using my French Italki teacher, she would give me homework assignments to do so I could complete them before our lessons. Now that I always do them, not at all. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I made and being lazy and not doing those homework assignments that your teacher would give you. And I'm not saying that every single teacher is going to give you homework assignments, but that was just the case with my teacher that I took for French. Like some of the things that she would give me, for example, would fill in the blank worksheet on Google Docs or do some kind of game to learn French. She also gave me some children's stories as well to read in between our sessions. So that's why I would say to make sure that you do those, so you're gonna be building your discipline when it comes to learning whatever foreign language that you are currently trying to learn. So you can not be lazy, but then also, number one, have something to talk about in the next session with your teacher, because every single time that we would meet together, she would ask me, oh, did you complete that? And then sometimes I was just like, nope, I did not do that at all. I also don't want to give you the wrong idea, like these homework assignments took 40 minutes to complete. It wasn't anything like that whatsoever, like I was in school or something. But it took maybe about 5 minutes, between 5 minutes and 10 minutes. So that's why I say to do them, because if you are being lazy and you don't want to do something that only takes 5 to 10 minutes, that can spill over into your other language study sessions as well. And you definitely do not want that to happen. Next tip I have for you is that you actually record your session. So that could be from an actual video recording like I'm doing right now, or you can just do an audio recording, but it all just depends on what your tastes are. I also recommend that you always ask your teacher prior to that session if you can record it. So recording for me has been one of the best ways for me to advance my Spanish speaking skills. So I'm already taking my Italki lessons with my teacher, so I'm already learning a bunch bunch in these lessons. But then on the other hand, I have a whole bunch of sessions that I can review over and over again. During an Italki lesson, you can imagine how difficult it would be to try to comprehend what your teacher is saying to you and then trying to have a conversation. So your mind's already occupied with, the different words and phrases that you would like to say, but then trying to analyze and trying to improve yourself all at the same time in, like a short time frame. So, whatever it's 30 minutes or 1 hour. So that's why it's good to set time to be able to just analyze and figure out what you need to improve versus trying to do that during an Italki lesson. If you do have that skill to do all those at one time, please let me know because I have no idea how to do it. The next tip that I have for you is to be patient. Now, there's a lot that is wrapped up in patience for a language learner, and one being to be realistic with your goals, right? So some of them, they may require a lot of time to reach. So you can't just expect that you're going to be, let's say fluent in Spanish or fluent in French just from 1 lesson or 2 lessons and even 3 lessons. So you need to keep that in mind when you're doing your lessons so you don't get frustrated. It's really easy to get frustrated when you have a mentality that you want to just get everything really fast. You want fast results, and sometimes it can happen. Sometimes, it might not happen. So it just kind of depends on what language skill that you're working on and what your goals are. So for example, let's say if I want to increase my pronunciation with just 1 word during 1 session, so that may be manageable to achieve in just 1 or 2 sessions. But then if you have another goal of trying to gain more vocabulary, so you want to gain, let's say 50 words, and you want to know what the meaning of those are, and you want to know how to use them in a sentence, that can take a lot longer to achieve versus that first goal that I just gave you. And when it comes to language learning, it can just take a long time to figure out how far you've actually come and to measure your progress. Because I've had 19 different Italki lessons just for Spanish, but I don't know what else that I've improved in. So even though I'm very active with Italki, I'm analyzing all the videos that I record. It's still, I don't understand exactly how much progress that I've made, if that makes sense. I also want you to be patient with your teacher because sometimes it can take time to get used to them. Like for me, one of my teachers I'm using right now for Spanish, it has taken me like basically 3 months just to figure out her teaching style. So you have to be patient with your teacher in that sense too, that, they're learning kind of at the same time that you are when it comes to, how to teach you appropriately, and that's going to be the best for you. The next tip that I have for you is to stay calm during your Italki lessons. Now, this has been extremely challenging for me to do because even after 3 months after doing, 19 Italki lessons just with Spanish and then about 3 or 4 with French, I still feel nervous every single time that I am having an Italki lesson. But to have the best experience when using Italki, you want to be as calm as possible so you can be able to enjoy those sessions and so you can be able to comprehend what your teacher is saying. Because if you're very nervous, if you're very frustrated, right, then that's going to distract you a lot. It's going to make it a lot more difficult to be able to comprehend and enjoy the conversation that you're having basically with your teacher. And I know a lot of other language learners have the same experience where they feel very shy when they're having Italki lessons, even, after like the 2nd or the 3rd one. So I guess just in this type of setting, it can just be a little bit more awkward because it is one-on-one and you're paying for it. I'm not exactly sure. But just try to stay as calm as possible so you can enjoy this experience and be able to be as productive as possible. The next tip that I have for you is to try different teachers that are available in Italki because there's a bunch of them and they all have different styles of teaching. They're from different parts of the world. They have different accents and different experiences. So it's really, I would say, nice and fun to be able to connect with different teachers on different topics and different interests. And just so you don't feel like you're locked into just one teacher, you can be able to explore a little bit to see, what's going to be able to suit you best. I'm doing this a lot more currently because I really want to challenge myself to get out of my comfort zone again so I can be more comfortable with being uncomfortable and to have better communication skills. Because I would say I'm fairly introverted, so for me trying to get used to a new person, especially in this type of setting, makes me feel quite nervous. I've had one one Spanish tutor that I've been using since February. So I'm fairly accustomed to her accent now and her teaching style, but it has taken me, almost, I guess, 3 months now. Next up, we have take a nap. Now, I would recommend that you take a nap before an Italki lesson if you are feeling very exhausted, distracted, and tired. You don't feel focused whatsoever. I had to learn this the hard way because there was multiple Italki lessons where I felt extremely exhausted and I did not feel like being there. I didn't feel like speaking. But the only thing that was on my mind during those Italki sessions was to go to sleep, but also how bad my Spanish was and how bad my French was. Because when I'm tired personally, I can have a lot of negative thoughts about myself, like, oh, how come you can't speak Spanish? You don't remember anything, you're terrible, you should just stop learning Spanish. If you're interested in learning more about my experience with Italki, you can check out the links in the description of this video. As well, I have also put the links to the different teachers on Italki that I'm using as well. Also in the description box of this video, you're gonna find a referral link for Italki, so when you purchase $20 worth of Italki credits, then you're going to receive $10 worth. So you're gonna be able to save a little bit on money. Thank you all for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And I really hope that it really helps you to have the best Italki lessons possible so you can be productive and you can enjoy to the fullest your language learning journey. Nos vemos en el próximo video. Hasta luego.